Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate.
What's up, guys? This is the Till You Podcast. I'm your host, I'm Brian, and I got a fucking special guest today. I'm fucking excited to meet this guy. Finally, feel like we've been talking for like 4 or 5 years on social media, and we were just rapping a little earlier of how it's hit or miss. Honestly, I've dealt with it where like 70-80% of the time you see someone on social media, you meet someone from social media, and they aren't always who they seem. And it happens a lot of the time, but I can tell you this guy's a real deal. I'm here with Miguel Aguilar of Self-Made Training Facilities, Real Estate, Water. He's got a whole bunch of shit going on. We'll let him explain what he's got going on. But what's up, my man?
Yeah, I appreciate you, my man. I know this was last minute, but we're here in Sacramento. I had to stop by and say what's up. It feels like, the beautiful thing about social media is that you can show up and you feel like you already know each other. And you're right, though. Like 70-80%, it could be a facade of a thing. But one thing is we've always seen the eye to eye. We get who we are, and as soon as we like link up, then it's like pick 100%. Up where you left off.
And that's why, like I said, when I first saw you on social media, there's so many similarities. Not only from the look, you're tatted, you're into fitness, you're very outspoken, you speak your mind, and just everything you were saying. I'm like, dude, this sounds like me. Then you kind of you find similarities, and you just connect. Like-minded people, you kind of gravitate together, right?
And you're able to pick up certain things from people that you also apply into your life. I know things that you've done and posted in the past. I was like, oh shit, that makes sense. And then the application starts, So it's cool to be able to finally connect, be here in Sacramento.
For sure. What are you doing out here in Sacramento?
So we got Self-Made back on the map in Sacramento. Okay. We're super stoked. My boy Kenny, he ended up buying our Sacramento location. He's going to bring it back to Elk Grove in a much larger facility, 12,000 square feet, between 10 and 12. But right now we have a building in mind, 12,000 square feet. Yeah. So we're doing a little bit of some marketing for it and just getting people to understand who Kenny is, why we elected him, and all the good stuff that comes with it.
And then tell everyone know what you do. Like, I know you do a lot of stuff.
So I own 6 companies total. Okay. Some we talk about, some we don't. But the most recognized company is Self-Made Training Facility. We are a national franchise. We have 21 open and operating locations. 36 of them sold, with another 10 on the books. We are growing aggressively, steadily, and what we did is we changed the game when it comes to private personal training. We decided that personal training should no longer be devalued by corporate gyms or the smaller boutiques where they really don't care about the trainer's success. It's more like about the location itself. Yeah. So what we did is we created a foundation of an institution of education teaching trainers how to be entrepreneurs, not how to be trainers. They are entrepreneurs in the training field, but we teach them skill sets from sales, consulting. We further their education in personal training through our partners ISSA and NASM. But we teach them true entrepreneurship. And then from there, we created an apparel company, which is the SLFMD family. Yep. It's a indirect way of marketing the facilities because, legally, independent contractors, we can't give them any uniforms. So there's a whole story behind that, how that got created. So we created a pivot off of something that we couldn't do in the first place. And that's been a huge success. And then from there, we also added another company during 2020 when everybody was shut down and the word essential was being thrown out. We added filtration systems into our facilities with the SLFMD hydration water.
Okay, that's where
So it's a better alkaline water. Killing it, crushing it on that aspect.
You're essential.
Now we're essential. But then even then, now inside of our training facilities, originally it was just all for private personal training. Now we've allocated 2,000 square feet out of the 10, 12,000 square foot locations that we have, and we allocated 500 square feet per exclusive item. So what we did is we also brought in doctors. So we have chiropractors now. We have doctors on staff, IV therapy. We have massage therapy, everything in that field. So that also made us essential. So that was a really cool pivot that we added in the last couple of years.
And I know like I said, we were already connected before that, but through the whole last couple of years, you and I saw eye to eye during this whole bullshit, and just like the stuff you be posting on planes, I've been posting, and just like I said, it's been madness, and now we're finally getting through this shit. But I know like we see eye to eye.
But that's the beautiful part is like going through all that, right? You see who the real entrepreneurs were, who the real deal was in business, and how we're able to pivot during these tough situations, especially when you felt like you're out of control. But in all reality, we had control the whole time.
For sure,
Is because you have to control your mind.
100%.
And if you can't control that, nothing else will follow.
No, 100%.
You know, and then I also have self-made real estate.
Yeah.
You know, I flip a lot of homes. We just got done flipping one of the properties that's in Esco in Long Beach right now,
Nice.
which we're going to get featured on Flipping 101 with Tarek on HGTV.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully get a pilot out of that and get our own stuff on
yeah.
the market. So that's a few of the companies.
Oh, yeah. And then so you're a father too. You got, your father.
2 beautiful daughters.
Oh, yeah.
14 and 15 years old,
yeah.
Riley and Jade. And
I love how you're very similar to me. That like you feature them. You can just tell that you're an involved dad and how much you care for them. I can just tell. Like I said, just. And some people don't even like with social media. They're kind of weird about their family, but I've always showcased it, and I can tell you. You know what I mean? They seem like you guys got a great relationship.
It's like it's a given a service. If you think about it, how many men are really contributors towards their family, right? A true man, and that not only financially, but literally being a true father, like being present, being active, being able to listen to these little human beings and develop them into being successful people within their own right, their own goals, their own dreams, and being able to be relatable to them.
100%.
And one of the main things I wanted to do with that was showcase that you can be a present father, be a cool father, and you can be like-minded with your kid. So because this is our future, this is who we're raising to become the next entrepreneurs or the next something in this world.
Not just that, but showcasing dudes like me and you that are way busier than normal people.
Yeah.
And we still make the time, and it's a priority. Where in entrepreneurship, I feel like a lot of times, like people choose, like their family goes to the wayside because they're just so in depth in business, and it's like, but you can do it all.
You can
like,
do it all.
Yeah.
The main thing that I hate listening to people state or say is I don't have time. That right there, I nip you in the butt. Right off the bat, I'm like,
I can't stand
get
that
out of my
shit.
room.
I can't stand that.
That shit's just contagious. I'm allergic to it. Get out, right?
For sure.
The other aspect too is that I want to find balance in my life.
Yeah.
You will never find balance.
Never.
What I tell people is that you need to learn how to leverage your time. Pick what's important and what's urgent.
Oh,
and at that point, leverage it. And everybody has 24 hours in the day. And you know how many hours you need to sleep. After that, every hour should be accounted for.
Yeah.
100%. And there will be things that sometimes things get in the way and you have to kind of pivot. But ultimately, you have to choose. Is it important or is it urgent?
Yeah.
And then you leverage it.
For sure. Yeah, I can't stand that shit. I don't have time. And it's like, then you look at like what I got going on, and this person has, works a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what do you...
But they're the ones that think we're crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They think we are unhappy people.
Yeah.
That they think the things are making us happy. I was like, no, motherfucker, dude. The process to get that thing is what makes me happy.
100%.
And then once I get it, what's the next peak of the mountain?
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I will never retire.
Yeah.
Ever.
Either. Yeah.
I'm always going to have a hustle. I'm always going to be doing something. I call it tinkering. If anything, by the time I decide to X out of everything, sell everything, or continue the way it's going, I'll just mess with cars all day.
100%.
Flip them. And not for the money, just because I love them.
Yeah, and that's another, like I said, we have a lot of similarities, but like cars, obviously you're passionate about it, I'm passionate about it. What cars you got right now? I know that you got some old school stuff.
Man. So I'm big on classics, and I just, and I had some exotics. I just sold my Square, my G-Wagon Square, and I was going to get so I'm OCD as fuck, right? Okay. And I was known for having all white cars. All white cars.
Yeah, you had a bunch of white.
So I had the G-Wagon squared white, the dually white, and all modified, tricked out.
Yeah, for sure. You can't.
My 59 rag.
No,
bro.
Stock.
Never stock, bro. Even when they're already dope as fuck stock, no way.
Yep.
So I got this thing, and I was like, I ended up buying one black car. The 63 rag, La Negra, and my 63 Impala convertible. And I drove that thing. I did some content. I was like, oh man, this just hits different.
Yeah.
And something happened. I sold everything, and now I got all black. So I just got the new S580, the new body style. That thing's decked out, Lord.
That thing's nice.
Yeah, it came out so sick, dude. The drive, the speed, the power. I mean, everything is legit, and that's like more my undercover car. Like, I can do that every day, drive it every day. And then I got my wife to be Priscilla. The G63, so nice. That's a black one. And then I got my 63 rag, and then my 59 Impala.
Nice.
Beautiful custom out rag, 59 with LS3.
Sick. Yeah.
That one's going under the shop right now, get painted all black.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so all the white cars are gone.
All black, okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And one of the deals that I made with my wife-to-be, so we were closing on our house in Bel Air. So nice. I just bought a house in Bel Air. Congrats. So, yeah, thank you, man. So, sold my house in Temecula, moving out to Bel Air. I'm going to live in both locations. But one of the deals was like, I want the new SUV Rolls Royce. So that would be the next big purchase.
Those are nice. I like those. Yeah, I had a Wraith back in the day. I miss it sometimes. But for me, it's just such a boat. I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? I like more like the Urus is perfect because it's like a sports beautiful. Car. It's like, you know what I mean?
I drive up and I was telling these guys, they're like, fucking this thing's so dumb.
It's nice. It's a lot of fun, dude. So as far as like, I want to give the viewers some nuggets they can take. Like, you know, you obviously, you know, I don't know how much you want to go into your background story, how quick you can go into it. But like, you know, like we were kind of talking about before we got on the mic, like so much shit that makes people successful is in our hands and our control every day.
Yep.
And like where you've been to where you've been, what have been some of the main things, like, you know, because I know we got a lot of similar qualities of successful people that get to higher levels.
Yep.
Like for you, what are your things that you're really like good at that you can say, okay, this is why I've gotten to where I've been?
One is So to quick recap, you know, my mom abandoned me at 12. I was homeless at the age of 16 when my dad got incarcerated. They gave him 22 years in Tehachapi State Prison. My stepmom kicked me out. We lived out of my car, but thankfully, and you know, God has always kept me on this path. It's weird since I was a kid because I was abused by my mom. You know, she faked my own death, tortured the shit out of me. Oh yeah, dude, she faked. I was about 9 years old.
I didn't know about all that.
Yeah, dude, she faked my own death. Told all the family members that I got hit by a car. So I come home. So we used to live in Imperial Beach at that time. So I bounced back from Riverside County, San Diego County, back and forth because my mom was just wild. And I remember I was about 9 and 10 years old. We lived literally 8 blocks away from Imperial Beach, so on the beach. I love boogie boarding. I love being in the beach. I was a water kid. And but I had a cheap boogie board and I had no rash guard, you know. So and back then I was really heavy set. So I would get these scabs on my nipples from the board. Yeah, sure, bad. Yeah. So one day I come home and she was like, "Mijo, I need you to sleep in the closet." And I was like, "For what?" And she was like, "I need you to sleep in the closet and no matter what, don't come out." And I'm already panicking. I was like, "I'm not gonna sleep in the closet. I'm 9 years old. I'm not scared of that shit, you know." Yeah. And she was like, "Well, Mijo, I'll buy you a boogie board and a rash guard." I was like, "All right, where do I gotta sleep? You know, let's go." And I ended up falling asleep in the closet. She set up my sleeping bag in there, closed the closet door, left it about an inch or so cracked open, and then I fall asleep and I start waking up with doorbell rings. And people were coming in the house. And then I started hearing people cry. So I started getting worried, but at the same token, it's like she told me no matter what, don't come out. And then finally, I just put my head against the door and I hear everybody saying my name, Miguelito, that was my nickname growing up. And I finally got the nerve and I was like, crack the door open. And I see all aunts, uncles, even my younger brother crying. And she was like, "I don't know how I'm going to pay for the funeral. He got hit by a car. I need help. So they all helped her for my funeral that I never had. What? And then months later, this pre-social media, pre-cell phones, obviously, so no one really had to connect with each other. They found out I wasn't dead, so we had to move from Imperial Beach back to Corona. So she faked my own death. So that was my life growing up. So that's what I've dealt with, right? And then luckily I found wrestling. I was able to get all my aggression out. It was very therapeutic. And for the first time, I felt like I had a family. You know, like the family, the wrestling, they were my brothers and sisters. These guys were tight-knit. Like if the football player ever effed up and tried to mess with us, the wrestlers were on them. And no one wanted to fuck with the wrestlers that day. And so that gave me the mentality of the never quit and the understanding of never blame anybody besides myself. If I failed at something, cool, how do I get better? Because one thing about wrestling is that you're going one-on-one in the mat in front of everybody. And you're literally trying to kill the dude. You're trying to win the match. And in that, you win some and you lose some. But every time you lose, it can do two things. It can basically embarrass the shit out of you and you're like, fuck it, this is not for me, I hate it, yada yada. Or it motivates you to like, yo, fuck, that ain't gonna happen again, right?
Figure out how to get better.
My coach said, for every move, there's a counter move. I just gotta learn it. So the same aspect, for every problem, there's a solution. For sure. Right? So that was a life lesson. So for me was to never quit. And then to understand to never repeat my mistakes twice. That was key because I've made a lot of mistakes. That cost me a lot of money. That cost me relationships. That cost me friendships, all kinds of stuff, right? And to never repeat those mistakes
That's
again.
A huge one. That's one that I feel like most people fall into that trap. You see people making the same fucking mistake over and over and over again. That's a huge one. If you can realize that, you learn from your experiences, your losses, your mistakes, and then you don't make them again. And that's even something I've grown and done too, because I've repeated shit in the past, not lately because I've grown so much. But it's hard because sometimes you're just, you're wired a certain way and you're used to doing something a certain way, right?
Well, the thing is, like, even just prime example, my sobriety. Now, I'll be celebrating 8 years this upcoming June. And that was something I kept repeating over and over. I'm over here trying to break the cycle of my past, right? My dad was a heavy drug addict, alcoholic. My mom was a drug addict, alcoholic. And my aunts and uncles, everybody. It's a family curse, you know, in a sense. But I always was like, I'm never going to be like my dad. But then yet I'm doing the same stupid shit that he was doing every weekend, you know? And they get to the point where finally I was like, dude, enough's enough.
Yeah.
If I want something different, like pretty much I'm going to be, you know, considered insane, right? Like the term of, the definition of insane is doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
100%.
I was like, boom, one day, no AA, no nothing, just shut off the light, dude. It's like, okay, this is it.
That's
and
awesome.
then my life has dramatically transformed since then.
That's awesome.
You know, and that it's only case by case. Every person is different. So for me, that's what one of the things was that I realized, okay, this is what I'm repeating. I need to change. And then any other prior mistakes have made me a lot of money thereafter. In the midst of like bankruptcy, for example, 2012, you know, I grew a real estate office so big. I was crushing it. I thought I was the king of real estate. I led that company with a lot of pride and ego. Do what I say, not so much of like, hey, let me show you. It's more like, do what I say or get the fuck out, right? Crash and burn, dude. Overextended myself, high return, high overhead. My returns started changing because I was losing agents because of my own wrongdoing. That was the most humbling thing that could ever happen to me. And that's how self-made got created. Because I was accustomed to a certain lifestyle, right? I was making a lot of good money. I had no college education, no nothing. It was hard work got that, right? But the discipline to keep it was not there. Okay, so I lost my ass, and then to make ends meet while I'm still slanging real estate and doing because I was not losing production of my own. I just wasn't getting the production for my agents anymore because of my fault. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to train people out of the garage. We set up a garage gym, and I'm also going to sell real estate. And those two hand in hand, perfect, because it's all entrepreneurship. You do it on your own as an independent. And as I did that, we outgrew the garage, right? And from there decided that we would go to a commercial location. And from there, we went to a cardio kickboxing studio place where they allowed us to do what we wanted to do when it comes to training. And literally less than 60 days, they closed their doors. Damn. And they locked the doors.
When was this?
This was in 2012, 2013, dude. You know? And we're like, fuck, what do we do now? So again, backs against the wall. We got to pivot. I'm thinking, I'll go to I won't mention names because I don't want to belittle the companies, but look, they're great gyms, but just not for personal training. Okay. So I went to the big box gyms and I went and interviewed and started calling and saying, hey, I got clientele, want to come? Oh, great, cool. They'll pitch you this whole pitch and then come to what they're going to pay you. You're talking minimum wage to maybe $25 a session when I'm charging $75 a session. So you're telling me you're going to keep 70% of my revenue, 80% of my revenue? That didn't sound right. I was like, okay, maybe it's just the big box gyms. So then I went to all of them first. And then I thought, okay, maybe there's one that used to be doing independent and it was commercial. No, they no longer provided it. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll go to these boutiques and see if they have something. Again, they weren't encouraging entrepreneurship. You got to represent their brand. So the brand Self-Made Fitness is no longer available. And we have to either have a punch card for our members, all kinds of shit that just didn't make sense financially. And then, boom, it hit.
And that's my background too. I mean, I was a trainer for a lot of years before I was the GM of sales for gyms, and I used to sell $40,000 a month in training.
And how much did you keep?
10%.
Exactly, bro.
10% of 40 G's.
So imagine that if that was around, if we were around when you were around, bro, that 40 grand's all you, bro.
100%.
And that's what we teach. And that's the cool thing about this whole thing is that that's what we teach, and we want to have our independent contractor understand there's no ceiling. Like you can live it. I am one of the leading factors that has trainers that have 6 figures or more as income. That's unheard of back in the day.
No, for sure. And then so when you were back doing that, because I don't want to skip over that, so you're calling around, you couldn't find anywhere. So then what? You just can't.
So it hit.
It's
like, how many trainers just like me need a place to go? But again, at this time, I was already an IFBB pro. Right, so I had a name for myself in the industry. I was competing in powerlifting. I had my elite powerlifting number, so I was doing well in that because after being a pro. And then, so instead of being, again, prideful, narcissistic, and egotistic like I was in real estate, right? I call it the realty world effect. because that's what my old office name was.
Yeah.
It was to be Realty World and Associates.
Oh, nice.
And that, I always throw that in front of me. I was like, remember what happened, Miguel. Don't let that shine. Because I could easily call it the Aguilar Compound or Miguel's Gym or have my big old mural, you know. Hey, look at me, I'm a pro.
Yeah,
right?
Sure. Yeah.
And instead, I was like, well, I already have the name Self-Made Fitness.
Yeah.
But what if I don't want to be fitness?
Yeah.
What if I want to be training? Like, I want to teach people like me entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So I took my real estate background and the ability, because it's no different. It's service-based business, right? And technically, it's almost like commissions. You don't get paid unless you provide the service. So I decided to call it Self-Made Training Facility. And I said, how many people just like me need a place, but they don't want to represent me. Let them represent a brand that infuses success into them, you know, a culture like no other, almost like a cult-like following, right?
And that's with any successful business, you have to have that culture, and it has to be strong from the start, and everybody has to represent it.
100%. And it had nothing to do with me. It had to do with education of entrepreneurship. Yeah. I'm not here to teach you how to be a trainer, because you already are a good trainer either at the big box gyms or small boutiques or independently out of your garage or parks. People were doing at parks. And I was like, I'm here to teach you how to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. You know? And I tell people, we're not even a gym. By no means. We're an institution of education. Yeah. You know, the gym is a vehicle.
And by teaching them that game, they're going to become better trainers. They're going to sell more training. They're going to have more clients, more lives to impact.
100%.
That's what comes from that.
It's a domino effect. For sure, and at the end of the day, I'm bringing people with us through success versus, hey, just I want to eat, you worry about you. You know, my focus is to see what systems, tools, resources I can develop for these individuals to take advantage of. But the caveat to that thing, right? It's like a double-edged sword in a sense. You're an independent contractor. I can't force you to use the tools and systems. I can't force you to take the time to get continuing education and certifications. I can't force you to pick up that call and see what you can do and getting more deals, right? I can't force you to even post on social media. But I'm going to highly aggressively suggest you do. And I'm going to motivate you to do it, and I'm going to inspire you, which is the biggest one for me, because motivation's a feeling, like in and out, okay, cool. But I want to inspire them to see what is possible, you know, and we keep their overhead so low that the return is outmatched. They keep between 90 and 95% of their income, because their potential income, let's say just for simple math, we charge a trainer $1,000 a month for all the tools, resources, the facility, 24/7 access. I mean, the whole shebang, right? And that $12,000 investment a year to potentially make, let's say, simple math, 10 grand a month. That's 120 grand. That's 10% of their income. For sure. They don't have to worry about keeping the lights on. They focus on being entrepreneurs and running their business. Then leveraging that so it's a residual business through their online training, because we also develop systems where we teach them how to be online trainers and one-on-one. Diversify your income under one umbrella.
And so my question to that, as far as that sounds amazing. Do you deal with trainers that, like, obviously with anything, like, what's the success rate with them? I mean, obviously you have the tools, like, is there a good amount that take that education and run with it? Or is there a good amount that just can't fucking swing it and they cut out? Or like what do you see?
So the beautiful part is that it's about a 94% retention throughout all our facilities. That's really 94%.
That's fucking high as hell.
High as hell. And the reason being is because we have copycats now, okay? And they offer the gym, but they also convert themselves to memberships because they can't sustain the business of education. So the way that I look at it is that our retention is so high because of the tools and systems that we provide these guys. But the reason it's also so high, these guys are the guys that understand entrepreneurship. And like I tell everybody, if I can take you to the water and make you drink it and just get a little taste, why would you go backwards? Right? These guys get a taste. Why would they go backwards? You know, and the only thing that can ever hinder that is if we don't perform on our behalf. So these guys, it's been a very successful. Like, we have so many locations in 7 different states now. You know, we're obviously doing something right. And the thing is that we will never deviate from our core values, and that's to educate and to encourage these guys to do the best they possibly can. It's like entrepreneurship. You only have 1% that is successful. Think about it. There's a very minimal of us.
There's especially nowadays.
Oh, bro.
Nowadays, entrepreneurship is cool. It's easy. It's hip, right? And it's like
you put it right in your story today.
Yeah.
You know, it's a savage world that we live in.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like I always tell every entrepreneur that I come across, right now you like the idea of entrepreneurship, but are you willing to do what it takes to become a true entrepreneur?
Well, they like the idea of the cars like that,
yeah, bro,
the money, the flashy shit, but they don't really realize what we've had to go through to get that.
How many years have you been doing this, bro?
9.
Okay.
Yeah.
In 9 years, this didn't come on the first year.
No.
It didn't come on the second year. It literally is 9 years of developing and some.
For sure.
I tell people legally, I've been doing this since 2003 because I've always had a hustle. I was a dope dealer, the whole deal, right? But entrepreneurship for me started when I got into real estate in 2003, 2004. Yeah. So it's been almost 20 years of hustle, education, and grit, and being able to look at the failures as a failure forward versus backwards.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's just what they don't get, you know. So we were talking about this earlier too. So how old are you again?
I'm 41, bro. I just turned 41.
41. Happy birthday. I'm 40. So how's your like? I feel like I feel so young at 40 years old. You know what I mean?
Bro.
But like, you know, we're a different 40 than a lot of cats out there. But how's your training? Like, how's everything going with that? Like,
it's amazing. I'm in the best. Yeah, I'm in the best shape of my life in my late 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is, things hurt. Things get a little funky after 40 for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't, I would never before get hurt. Now there is things that like tennis elbow, things of that nature, but I surpass all that. Sure. And at the end of the day, I tell my kids and my wife to be, I want to live long and die fast.
Yeah.
My philosophy behind that is live the longest life I can possibly live and know that I'm not going to die from type 2 diabetes. I'm not going to die from a heart attack because of overweight. I'm not going to die because of depression or anxiety or suicidal thoughts because I can't be the person that I used to be, right? And when it's my time to go, it's my time to go. God said, okay, Miguel, here's your light. Catch a trip, you know.
And you strike me as the kind of person, kind of like I am, that you're very passionate and all in, like every day. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
The thing is, like, you know, it could be our last day. So
think about it. Like I would advise everybody out there to think this. Go back to the time that you hated the most, right? You have to be emotionally intelligent how to do that, by the way, because it's a feeling that you'll never leave your body, right? And go back to that time.
I go there every day.
Yeah. Dude,
honestly,
100%.
Yeah,
bro, I know what it is to be broke. I know what it is to live out of my car. I know what it is not to have
Both
food.
Of us,
So I know what it is to be behind on payments and still trying to make shit happen, right? Actually, I hate using the word try. Make shit happen.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure. Yeah,
and I go back to that time and I feel that, and I'm like, this ain't shit, bro. Come on, let's go.
Never forget that feeling. No. And I use that shit every day as motivation.
I had a conversation with one of my franchise owners yesterday, and he just wanted a vent, and I get it, you know. And at the same token, I know that he comes from a 9-to-5 before that he hated, because I know that's another thing, being able to listen, you know, like truly listen. Yeah. So you know how to come back with strategic answers, so it's not just a bunch of fluff.
Yeah.
And I asked him after I let him rant, and I was like, yo, you want to go work back 9-to-5 at Amazon? Oh, fuck no. Remember that then.
Yeah.
This shit ain't nothing compared to the 5. I know for a fact that if I lost everything tomorrow, I would get it back.
Me too.
There's no fucking possible way I would ever go back to working 9-to-5. I know what manual labor's like. Construction in 118-degree weather in India, bro. Yeah. You know, sweating, trying to dig in a trench. Yeah. No way. You know, so I know that no matter what, things are never going to be easy, and understanding that and being okay with that is good.
Hell yeah. And I think, you know, because a lot of part of entrepreneurship, you know, a lot of my coaches and mentors and people I know, you see a lot of times in entrepreneurship, people come up real big and then they lose it all.
Yeah.
And I feel like at times, the ones that happens to, they lose sight of what we just talked about.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like they think they're past that and they forgot where they came from. Because, you know, that happens to some people sometimes, where they get that fucking chip on their shoulder, whatever they think it is. Like, I'm the same motherfucker I was when I had nothing. I know you're the same vibe. And yeah, we're definitely confident and we're proud of what we've done because we've earned it and we know what we're capable of. But that's different than like forgetting where we came from and being scared of going back there and just saying fuck it, and then you end up back there, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing. I have daily reminders, whether it be like, prime example, my tattoos, right?
Yeah.
I have the Riverside Bell on my shoulder. I see it every fucking day. This is where I'm from. I'm from the hood. I come from absolutely nothing. This is what it is. I'm proud to be there, but I don't live there, right? I have self-made family, big ass fucking thing. I did that the second year.
I like that tat. That tat's dope. It's like, I like it because it's like almost like a negative or whatever. How it shows up.
Negative. And that's a daily reminder. I'm all in this motherfucker.
Yeah. Just like me, I got Till You collapse across my chest right here.
Because you think about it, you think you're gonna let this company fail? No.
Yeah.
You're gonna give everything you possibly can every day. 100%. You wake up every day pretending to be broke.
Yep.
I do that every day, and it allows me to progress forward.
100%.
You know, and then I have the clock on my shoulder because time is like, even on my way to the airport this morning, I was in fast track to get to the airport, and everybody's at its dead stop, and I'm passing them, and I did a boomerang to it, and I said, buying time.
Yeah.
You know, time is the most valuable thing. People don't understand, and people can look at it two ways. I'm not going to waste money on fast track. Motherfucker, this just bought me an extra half hour to be able to come do this with you today. That's going to give me some knowledge. That's going to give me some encouragement. That's going to give me some motivation to go back and kill it even more.
100%.
Right?
I talk about that all the time, how people with the wrong kind of mindset is they just try to trade money for time.
Yeah.
And it's just, time is, you got, like the last analogy I was when I was going off about everybody crying about the gas prices. And instead of bitching about the gas prices and everybody, how, like, you know, they have like a Costco gas station that gas is like, I'm just going to use numbers because I don't know how fuck expensive it is right now, but say it's $5 a gallon at Costco, and across the street it's $5.10 at Shell. And they see that 10 cents, right? And there's a line. It takes 20-30 minutes to fill your car up versus 5 minutes. And it's like, you 10 cents a gallon times 20 gallons, and you save $2. $2 for 30 minutes of your time. Not only that, you drove how much longer to Costco gas station versus a gas station right by your
100%.
Like 45 minutes to save $2. Like, and they, you know what I mean? It's just that mindset.
But everybody's been programmed that way.
100%. Yeah.
Our schooling system does no good. Our colleges do no good. You know, I had two situations where I've had backlash from other parents. One, my kids were about 9 and 10 years old. Take that back. Between 8 and 7, run there. Big tournament, club soccer, super competitive. Parents are all there, everybody cheering on, and we made it to the finals, and they lost. They got murdered, right? And of course, they now give out participation trophies.
Oh, fuck.
And I remember all the kids went up, and I held my kids back. And the coach was like, they called their name. I was like, no, they're good. And they were like, why? I was at second place. They didn't win. They don't deserve anything. And I said that out loud. You should have seen how many parents were like, fuck,
that's
bro.
just like me. I have a funny story of that. I haven't held them back. That's savage. I love that. But my boys and my daughters, they're all in competitive sports. Very competitive. But I everything I talk about here, I preach to them. I know you 100%. We have to educate them. The school's not going to educate them to be like us. And every time, like my sons, and my daughter hasn't gone through this, but both my sons, they've gotten second place in like a big tournament, and like it's a little accomplishment, but it's funny, like in the picture with the whole team, like they don't wear all the kids are happy with the medal around the neck, and they're like holding it like pissed off.
100%.
Because what I instilled in them.
And that's the thing, we have to do that, because this world is literally brainwashing our youth, brainwashing even our adults. I'm thinking that say, hey, at least you tried. I was like, fuck that shit. I was like, I'm coming back for the win. What do I got to do next? I told the girls, where did you mess up and what can you improve in? All right, Dad, cool. And they did it. And then the second time was one with the education portion of it. We were having a discussion amongst families, and I told, I was like, my kids I'm not gearing them for college. One of them wants to be an hair extensionist and follow, my wife to be is mentoring my youngest daughter, Priscilla.
That's
fucking awesome.
That's
bro.
awesome.
Dude,
I love that
and
shit.
she takes the initiative and she does it, and she's like, dude, she's like she's been doing it for years. It's crazy to watch her kids do that, and she already has where she wants to be a celebrity extensionist, or she wants to be in that field. But she's been like that since 4, and I've always encouraged her.
Which daughter is that?
Riley, my younger one, my little brunette. She's like my twin, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember she was about 5 years old, 4 or 5, and she brought me this little picture of a building, and it said, "Beautiful boutique presented by Riley Samantha." And that's her middle name, Riley Samantha. Yeah. And I was like, "What is this, babe?" She says, "No, a boutique. I'm going to sell used clothes, and we're going to have a basketball court inside for the men, so if they want, the girls can shop, the guys can play basketball." She had it all dialed in. She was like 4 or 5, bro. Yeah,
that's crazy.
But I've been instilling this in them since they were kids.
That's right.
And then I asked her, I was like, "But babe, why'd you say beautiful boutique by Riley Samantha? Why not Riley Samantha Aguilar?" I was like, "Oh, Dad, I don't want paparazzi to know my last name." I was like, "All right, cool, dude, And that's what we've instilled in these kids. And then my other daughter, Jaden, she's such a nurturer, such a loving kid, and she wants to go into nursing. And I'm like, perfect. You're going to need college for that. You're going to need to go tech. So it's like, I'm not against it.
For sure, yeah.
It just depends on what they want to get
That's
into.
how I feel,
And for us, as men, as fathers, I mean, it's our responsibility. And that's why I love showcasing it on social media.
Yeah.
It's not so much of like throwing things in people's faces or boasting. I want people to see that it's possible to have healthy relationships with your kids.
And it's genuine.
Oh, 100.
Real, you know what I mean? And that I'm the same way. I mean, some of my kids don't like it. They're pretty good with it. Do they ever not like it, or are they cool?
Sometimes, like yesterday, Riley did not want to get posted. She was like, "Not today, Dad." I was like, "All right, babe," and I respect it, and I get it, and it's based on that. Well, the other thing too, though, is, I'm divorced, right? So 2 different households, and that also plays in the factor of raising the kids. We want to make sure that. We understand that we can have a relationship with our kids to be able to look at things in multiple lenses. I always tell them there is right and wrong, but there's also somewhere in between. And you have to understand that, especially like what we went through 2020. I educated my kids.
Yeah, me too.
I educated them, and I didn't make them be fearful. Dude, my kids were not wearing masks. They were not.
Mine too.
Sheltered.
Yeah.
If anything, we created a school within our facility to get the kids to go homeschooling there.
Oh,
it was wild, bro.
Yeah. My kids were part of a small group that like rebelled and like were refusing to wear them and caused kind of the whole school to overturn the whole thing. Like they put them in the cafeteria like they were outsiders and like, you know what I mean? But like my kids, all my ages were one of the few. There wasn't even my high school kid, which is crazy because where we live was better. Like Placer County here, it's more country out here. I live right over here on 3 acres, like where there's more land and stuff like that. So it hasn't been that bad as far as like compared to like cities and stuff what you guys had to deal with. But it was surprising the schools were bad. And like I said, they stood up for it, and it taught them they stood up for something even though it was against the rules, and they caused change. And just that lesson alone is 100%. Priceless. They'll never forget that.
And they'll never forget that. And what we just did for our kids is going to save us down the road. And the other aspect too, it's like getting them to understand, to think for themselves.
100%.
And sometimes I have to let them fail so they understand that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's rad, dude. Yeah, being a dad is one of the best.
It's the best.
It's one of the best things I've ever done personally, and it's I love it. To the point where I want to have another kid.
You do?
Yeah, bro. I need that. Yeah, bro. We already got a boy name picked out, baby Mateo. Bro, I'm ready, dog.
You're ready.
Yeah, I got me I'm getting married this month on the 17th.
Yeah,
like literally like 10 days from now.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you,
I remember when you, because like I said, like you said, we follow each other. We know each other.
Yeah, totally.
And now we really know each other. But it's funny. Like I remember when you met her and you started posting. Like I'm fucking happy for you.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I can tell like how happy you are. Just, because your posts start changing a little bit. Like that's part of it. Right?
It's part of the deal, dude. Yeah. And now she's part of my life. I'm part of her life, and then we're becoming one.
That's awesome.
It's a beautiful thing. And that's another thing, looking at, overcoming major setbacks, major blows. It can either define you or it can make you. For sure. Bankruptcy could have defined me. I could have been just like all the other ones that just blamed it on that. Be the victim. This is what happened. Oh, poor me. No one gives a shit, bro. You learn. And it made me super valuable now with the growth of the company. Yeah. Like I was able to strategically grow this company versus like I did with my real estate office, just growing one base. I should have been franchising or doing satellite offices. Yeah. But instead I was like, I gotta go big. The bigger, it's like, nah, bro.
Sure. Hell yeah. What are we on time, guys?
We're at 40 minutes.
Huh? We're at 40 minutes? You guys gotta leave soon?
10 more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
bro, shit.
Yeah.
He's like, we gotta get
wanna,
to the airport,
I don't want to
bro.
cut it close because, like I said, I want to get some good content. I feel like we got some good shit, but I want to also get some pictures of us in the gym.
Yeah, totally.
So we'll wrap it up, man. Is there anything else you want? I mean, how can people follow you? I want them to follow you. Like I said, you're a good influence. You post good shit all the time.
Self-Made Family Inc., Self-Made Family INC, and then Self-Made Training Facility are the two main pages. But ideally, the Self-Made Family Inc. is where you can find me.
Okay,
That's the main one that I use through Facebook and all that stuff.
You guys follow this guy. He's very similar to me. He posts. He is the real deal. He posts fucking valuable content all the time. Like I said, he's a cool dude to follow. Check him out. Also, I want to give a shout out to my man Andy. My man.
Cheers,
we're not
Andy.
sponsored by First Far, but my man Andy. I was texting him yesterday actually, and he was like, "Do you have any of my fucking new energy drinks?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, the next day, UPS overnight, he sends me like fucking 8 of them. So
He's the man, bro.
Yeah, he's the dope. He's dope.
Yeah, he's a good people, bro, and doing great things with this company.
Oh, for sure,
yeah,
man. I appreciate it.
Another like-minded individual.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So, guys, appreciate you. Please share this show, subscribe, like it. We're out.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today.